list will be Cam Hart. Now, with Cam Hart, you see his RAS score. Again, RAS is relative athletic score. It's 0 to 10, 10 being good, zero being bad. Cam Hart's Notre Dame. He's 6'3", 202 pounds. Only had 11 on the bench press. That's why you see that red there. His vertical was good. His broad was good. His 40-yard dash was a 4.5, but standing at 6'3", that's not bad. The yellow is considered okay or good. The green is elite. Red is bad. His three cone was bad, but you kind of expect that out of a guy standing 6'3". If you 6'3" and you got a good three cone, you you in that realm of him, so to speak, with all capital letters. So with that being said, I'll kind of let Chris go first on what he saw on tape from. Well, first I'll say this: a lot of people when we talk Ravens, and myself and Chris are not from the area, so a lot of Ravens fans love to want Baltimore guys on the team. This kid is from Baltimore. So, yes, if you didn't know that, he went to Notre Dame, but he's a Baltimore kid. So, we'll kind of bring up that little tie in toward the end. But what did you see out of tape from Cam Hart, Chris?
I really liked him. I thought he was a really impressive corner, and actually, my first look of him was down at the Senior Bowl before I even watched this tape. And you watch him at the Senior Bowl, and you're like, "Damn, why isn't this dude being spoken about more?" Because you see, he's obviously he's a bigger corner, but his ability to match and mirror wide receivers, I was like, "Whoa, this dude got feet like a little guy."
Mm-hmm.
And you see that three cone there, and it looks shaky. You see the short shuttle, it looks shaky, but when you see it on the field, it's a different story. And you watch him go up against Marvin Harrison Jr., and you see some special traits from him. And he's a guy you always see him communicating with his teammates. Always talking, always pointing things out, lining guys up on the field, and he kind of has that different type of energy on it. Like you watch some defensive backs and they're just there to line up on their man, do their job, and that's it. Cam Hart, he's there to do his job, but he's also trying to get everybody else settled in and make sure they're doing the right thing. So you kind of see that energy from him of a leader, and that's what you want. You want guys who take charge and who want to be that guy in charge of the secondary and take pride in that kind of stuff.
As far as what I got, his snaps, he's a 5-year guy. So he's all 5 of his years at Notre Dame. He's a fifth-year senior. As a freshman, a true freshman, only 3 snaps. Second year, 88 snaps. Third year, 739. The next year, 568. And then the year after that, 572 as a total. He only had 2 interceptions, with which to me that kind of bothers me. But
Mhm.
sometimes in college they just don't target you, and I understand. And as a total, he had what 2, 4, 6 plus 5 is 11 pass breakups over his 5-year span, and then he hovers right around 50% completion percentage, meaning the amount of passes thrown at him, they complete 1 out of every 2 that's thrown at him. But as far as what I saw on tape, he's a true band corner. Like they line up in press and they play man, and he's one of the guys that he's looking at his guy. He ain't focused on nothing else that's going on. I got very athletic and smooth in his movements, good speed and recovery, and to stay on top of wide receivers. His length is one of his good traits. Versatility, he can play wide receivers or he can slide down and play tight ends if he needs to. Good hands to make plays on the ball. He just don't do a lot of catching of the football. He knocking them away and knocking receivers hands down and stuff like that. I got that he's a Baltimore kid, which I know Ravens fans would love that. Bad things, he's had surgery on both shoulders, so his tackling technique is, to me, that would be an issue because he probably just going there throwing that shoulder and not necessarily wrapping up the proper way, and then he has trouble finding the ball sometimes. So he kind of, when the ball is coming, he kind of, I don't want to say panic because that's too harsh of a word. He just has issues just locating the ball, and guys either catches it or he just misses out on opportunities to make interceptions. But overall, I like the prospect. I think he can be a guy that can come in at a later pick, sit behind Brandon and sit behind Marlowe, and build and be a guy that can play in year 2 or year 3 But he got one thing that you can't coach: 6'2", 6'3", and he can
And
run.
feet and
Yep,
feet. Yep. And you said it when you started talking. You know that scheme that he played in. You know where you up there at the line pressing. You know, there's not a lot of corners who get to experience that in college.
yep,
So his transition, just fundamental wise, as far as being impressed and getting his hands on wide receivers, that's going to be less of a learning curve than other guys who you typically see just playing, off man all the time and just hanging out in his own coverage all the time. So his transition should be a fairly smooth one when you consider the kind of scheme that he's coming from.
yep. And then Marcus, what's Notre Dame's coach name? Marcus
Freeman.
Freeman. He's a hard nosed guy that they got a scheme, and he's gonna find guys to play that scheme, and they love to play man and try to stop you from running the ball, and Cam's a man corner. So if
Mm-hmm.
you got man in your scheme and you want to play a lot of man, he's one of the guys for that. Is he great at it? No, but he's closer to being good than he is sucking at it, if that makes sense.
Right.
He has way more good reps than he does bad playing man coverage.
And there's a reason, like you said, the lack of ball production. There's a reason why he's going to be, third, fourth round pick.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about him in the first round,
Right.
but to get a guy like this with this kind of profile, in the third or fourth round, to me, sign me up for that. I'll take that every day.
Yep. All right. Second guy on